Hi guys, it's me, Angel Velour, and this is my first ever makeup tutorial. I'm just going to be giving you guys a little bit of Angel Dumott Schunard from Rent, so watch me go from this into this. Oh no, I didn't wet my beauty blender. Fuck. It's 10:34 p.m. and this is already not going well. Let me wet my beauty blender. Okay, first of all, bitch, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off this stupid ass scarf and I'm gonna take off this stupid jacket because they're not really necessary for the makeup tutorial. Sorry if you can't hear me over my jacket. Let's get rid of these. There we go. And by the way, if I keep looking down, it's because that's where my viewfinder is, so yeah. Usually I would have put moisturizer on by now, but I'm really lazy today and I don't feel like doing that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down with a silicone primer. And I like the silicone primers because I have a lot of pores and honestly it just really helps fill in my pores. I don't know if it's very obvious, but I'm almost out of this. So squeeze every bit that you can. If I want to photograph well, I usually put on a primer first. There we go. There's the money shot. And I usually just put this primer all around. And I'm probably not being very... Oh yeah, I'm definitely not being very accurate now. I'm not using a mirror, and I'm just looking in my little bad viewfinder, so I don't know how well this is going. Mirror bitch, don't mind my disgustingly messy mirror. It's not that bad. I swear it could be worse. Sorry. Oh yeah. Blend. Is it just me, or do we spend, like, by the time we die, days, if not years, blending makeup in total? Like, if you add up every single minute and hour I've spent blending makeup, that's like a long time. That's like a lot of hours. A lot of hours that, frankly, I'm just not gonna get back. I look decent. No, I don't. I still look bad. And when you still look bad, add more primer. Even if your bottle's empty, just try and squeeze a little bit out. Because it's possible. Anything's possible. There we go. Get in every nook, cranny, and crevice of your face. Now, you're not doing it right if your face isn't sweating from clogging all of your pores profusely with disgusting oils and makeup. But that's how you know you're doing it right, when 90% of your face is 100% fake pigment. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know where I'm going with this. Don't listen to me. Now that I have a decent base of primer down, which took me like 10 minutes. So usually what I would do next is I would take a clean makeup wipe and I would wipe off my eyebrows to glue them down. But today, since I'm doing Angel, I'm not gonna glue down my eyebrows because traditionally on Broadway, from what I've researched, they've never really glued down her eyebrows. And frankly, I don't really see it as a necessary step because Angel's costume design has always been a little bit more natural of a look when it came to her drag, so it didn't really involve her having her eyebrows glued down and a new eyebrow drawn on. So today, I'm just going to be keeping my natural eyebrows, hoping that I can draw them enough to make them look decent. But even in general, if you want to glue down your eyebrows, that's completely up to you. And if you glue on your eyebrows, or if you glue down your eyebrows, make sure you just put the glue in a circular motion and then brush the eyebrow hairs up, powder, concealer, after doing maybe 4 or 5 layers of glue stick, and then your eyebrows should be pretty good. But when you do draw on your eyebrows, I would frankly say go for a shape almost a little bit similar to mine. You'll see the shape that I end up drawing right now. Now actually, I think they're doing a TV version of Rent, just like they did Hairspray, I think they did Hairspray. And Valentina is going to be playing Angel. When I originally heard this, I panicked because, frankly, from the past, Valentina is not a good singer. I don't know, I just didn't like her aesthetic when it came to Rent or portraying Angel. But I don't know, now that I've thought about it a little bit more, I've gotten a little bit more used to it, and I kind of like the idea because so far into Drag Race, she's proven that she's a pretty damn good singer. And I feel like that probably has to do with Rent. Now the benefit of drawing on your eyebrows first before you do anything else is that if you destroy it and do that, it's easy to reverse. Now I'm going to be doing my own version of Angel from Rent today, by the way. I'll put a bunch of my resource photos down in the description, and I kind of just did a mix of a bunch of different looks. Okay, honestly, that's a very bold brow, and if you're doing this on an everyday basis, I don't know why anyone would be doing this on an everyday basis, but if you ever try and recreate this look, which I don't know why you would ever try and recreate this look, go for a more natural brow. This is very, extreme, but I'm gonna go with it. I think we're gonna go with like if Aquaria or if Valentina played Angel and Aquaria designed the makeup for her. But frankly, that's a straight up anime eyebrow right there. Now that I have a defined eyebrow shape on one side, I'm just gonna copy it over to the other side and then I'll be right back. Okay, so my left brow decided not to come to the party today. I've spent the last 25 minutes trying to get them right, but obviously this one is not wanting to work. So, oh god. So we're just gonna move on and hope by the end of this it just looks somewhat decent. But if you're watching this video, then you already know that it came out halfway decent. Great, let's continue. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around my face with a foundation stick. Now I'm using a Anastasia, and whatever, this one. I'm using a foundation stick that's a definite few shades lighter or definite few shades darker than I am. This is about how dark I am in the summer, and I'm just going to use this to go all the way around my face. I chose a shade that's a couple shades darker because I'm going to end up going over it with my highlight shade, and that's just going to lighten everything up in the end. I also like going a few shades darker when it comes to my drag makeup because when it comes to my foundation, I usually like to match how dark I am in the summer. And considering how light this is right now, it just shows how little sun I've got. I'm actually going to put a little bit of chapstick over my lips, and then I'm going to put more foundation over that, and that's going to help us later on when it comes to applying our lipstick. Now you only want a really thin layer. You don't want to like cake this stuff on, but if you put a very thin layer on beforehand, it'll keep your lips nice and moisturized. When it comes to going around the eyebrows a little bit more precisely, I'm going to use a brush in those areas. In the meantime, I'm just going to blend out a majority of this all the way around using a wet beauty blender. And blend this shit out. This is what I'm doing with my life at 17 years old at 11 p.m. in my parents' basement. Back to my conversation earlier about how much time we spent blending. I just spent the last 10 minutes in pure silence blending out my foundation. 10 minutes I will never get back. Okay, now that I'm done blending out my foundation with a disgusting old beauty sponge, I'm just going to take a makeup brush and go around my eyebrows to further define them, and then obviously blend out the line between foundation, my skin, and then eyebrow. I feel like I'm painting a house. Now when it comes to your underbrow, you don't really gotta worry too much about putting foundation there because we're gonna go in with some concealer that's a few shades lighter, and we're gonna use that to highlight our brow bone. I'm just gonna add a little bit more foundation down my neck in order to blend this down because this foundation is so dark. Okay, so now the next step in the process is I'm gonna take my Mayron stick and I'm gonna use this for highlighting the, well, you guys are gonna see wherever I highlight. I like to highlight the middle of my forehead, which is, I'm pretty sure, a pretty obvious spot. Bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, my mustache area, my chin area, and then my cheeks, of course. So this is gonna go all up everywhere. Now that everything's for the most part blended, I'm just going to take my Airspun powder on a very heavily powdered powder puff, and I'm just going to add it to all of my highlight areas and let those bake while I work on my eye makeup. Now that I look weird as hell, I'm going to start working on the eyes. The first thing I'm going to do to get started on my eye makeup is I'm going to take a concealer of some sort and I'm going to apply that to my eyelid very thin, but I'm also going to apply a little bit thicker right underneath my brow bone in order to highlight it. Now this concealer is about, I'd say, a fair bit lighter than I am, but that's because I use it as a highlight color. Now ideally, since Angel is more of a stage/Broadway type makeup, you'd want to be using a white for this color, but I don't really have a white right now, so I'm just going to settle for the lightest concealer I could find. brushing away the powder near the end so that I could blend it into the rest of the foundation and then not set that concealer right away. And then you're going to want to take your finger or another wet beauty blender and use that to buff the concealer into your skin. And then we're just going to repeat that on the other side as well. Frankly, I'd say I've looked a lot worse than this, and we can move on. Now, I'm going to try getting away doing this look with only one brush, and that is the e.l.f. blending brush. Pretty easy, basic brush to find. Any blending brush will work for this. And essentially what we're going to do is a shit ton of blending. Now, the first thing you want to do is either go down with a completely white shade or the lightest shade you have, and for me, that's this shade. I don't know what shade that is. Chad from the Kat Von D palette. I'm going to use this shade to set my brow bone, and I'm going to use this shade all over my lid. And as you can see, I'm just really packing this shit on there. Like, girl, when I say you want to pack this on there, I mean pack it on there. Because you do not want this concealer moving around. Now, what I'm doing with this is I'm taking this and I'm almost winging it out because Angel's wig is pretty much going to cut off your hair right about here. So anything past this point honestly doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to have it wing out. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this green shade all over my crease, and that's going to be almost like a transition shade. I don't know the technical terms for this, but wherever I'm going to put the color, that's where you should put the color. Now at the same time, I'm going to take the original shade that I used for my brow bone, and I'm going to use that to blend the green in. Now that I've gone all over the lid and into the crease with a basic green shade, I'm next going to define my crease with a darker green shade. That green shade I'm going to use to define my crease is this weird bluish green shade that was found on my Kat Von D palette, I think. It's the shade, I have no idea. It's not that shade, but I have no idea what shade it is. So yeah, that's what I'm going to use. Just use a darker color to define your crease. It's basic, you don't have to use these exact colors. Being honest, that was a really bad mood, so I'm going to try and fix it with the original green again. Now that I tried to fix it some more, I'm going to take the original white base shade, and then, yeah, I don't know. The next thing I'm going to do now is cut my crease, and not going to lie, this part's always a pain in the ass. But the little thing I like to do is I'll put a little dot of concealer right where my eyeliner line is, and then I'll let that touch my brow lid thing. I'll let that touch my lid, and wherever that is, that's where I'll draw my crease. Now, as you can see, I took that concealer all the way out, and I'm just going to blend that into the rest of my foundation using my finger. As for the inner corner of my eye, I'm just going to let that stay sharp. I'm just going to use a damp beauty blender, and that right there is my cut crease. Now, using an eyeshadow applicator, I'm just going to take this shimmery green shade and I'm going to put that all on the inner of my cut crease. Now I'm going to use a smaller, more precise eyeshadow brush to really get in there and define that cut crease. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Baked Cowboy shade from my Urban Decay palette, and I'm going to add that to the end of the cut crease and blend that outwards. Now that I have all of that blended out, I'm just going to take my brush and remove all the powder underneath my eye. And now I'm going to draw in my other waterline using a white liner. Now that I have that first line, I'm going to go ahead and do my waterline. With my white line added, I'm then going to take a clean brush and blend out this little edge right here, just to soften her up. Next up, I'm going to take a little bit of mascara and apply that to my lower lashes as well. And then I'm going to do my upper lashes as well. Oh, that's mascara on my brow bone. Now that that step's complete, I'm going to apply my lower lashes, which originally looked like these. They were free and came with one of my wigs, so I decided to make use of them. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of black eyelash adhesive to the back of this. And while I'm letting that one dry, I'll usually add more adhesive to my top lash as well, so that I can apply that one directly afterwards. For these lower lashes, I do suggest a clear eyelash adhesive just so you don't see the black in case you screw it up. But I don't have clear right now, so this is what I'm going with. That's a lower lash. It works. Okay guys, after way too long and a lot of experimentation, I'm finally done with this side. I'm finally pleased with it. So now I'm just gonna do it on the other side. So for you guys, it'll be less than a second, but for me, it'll probably be another hour. Be right back. Now that I have my other eyelash drying and my eyes are pretty much finished, I'm gonna move on to the rest of my face, and then we're almost done. Now I'm going to use this to set the parts of my face where I did not apply any baking powder to, and then I'm going to continue my contouring as well. So first things first, I'm going to contour this big ass forehead. My favorite thing to do is marry a cream contour with a powder contour, because then that way I feel like everything just mends together and blends a lot more seamlessly. I'm going to do underneath my jawline as usual. And then now I'm going to do my cheeks. As for my cheeks, I'm going to try and do this in the monitor. Boom! Lastly, I'm going to go in here and contour my nose using a very dark contour shade. But that's because whenever I do Angel, I like to have a very sharp nose contour. Now I'm just going to buff together everything on my face using a big blending brush and a little bit of my Airspun powder. And next, I'm just going to go to town with blush. Now I'm going to set everything using this Mayron setting spray, and then I'll add my highlight. As for my highlight, I think I'm going to go in with this Cover Effects highlighter, and then I'm going to go over it again with some more powder highlighters. A little bit above my brow bone as well, just to make everything pop. Blend it out a little bit with your blending brush. Last but not least, I'm going to do my lips in Angel Velour Red off camera, then I'll be right back. Now that I have my really bad lips done, I'm going to go pop on a wig, pop on my outfit, and I'll be right back. And here's the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of these, I guess just subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment what other kind of drag makeup looks you guys would like to see. Do you guys want to see a more in-depth drag tutorial doing something a little bit more extreme that involves me gluing down my eyebrows? I don't know, let me know in the comments down below. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to watch my video, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, give it a thumbs down, because fuck it.